What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline, and we just literally had another trade happen right before I was going to start recording, so this really happened at a perfect time. So Kyle Kuzma is being sent over to the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's go ahead, talk about this trade, jump in, and do a Kyle Kuzma Milwaukee Bucks rebuild in NBA 2K25. One thing I forgot to say in this video, guys, I will be live streaming tomorrow for the NBA trade deadline. Probably go live in the morning at some time, maybe hours before the actual trade deadline, like I usually do, to hang out with y'all. If you want to come out, hang out, and talk about the trade deadline, I'll be live tomorrow. But let's enjoy this new trade that we have in our hands, Kyle Kuzma to the Milwaukee Bucks. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Like I said, I was literally eating breakfast and about to start recording a video, and as I was eating, the trade happened. So I was like, okay, I guess I have my video to do. So this happened at like the perfect timing. So thank you, Milwaukee and Washington, for making this happen. But Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin, and a second-round pick are headed to Milwaukee for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and a pick swap in 2028. Obviously, it won't be like an unprotected pick. It'll just be the worst of the Portland Milwaukee picks. But yeah, this is pretty much cost efficient for the Bucks. It also helps them get under the second apron while acquiring a player that can potentially help them. Chris Middleton has just struggled with injury, and he's just not been really the same player. So this trade makes a ton of sense, obviously, for Milwaukee to do. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade happen. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're just only controlling the Bucks, and we can really start to see what we can do with this team. So right now, Milwaukee finds itself 26-22 on the season, and we need to look at the rotation. But like I said, this team, or that trade, gets the Milwaukee Bucks under the second apron. So there is a potential that they can aggregate some salaries and make another trade. I don't know exactly who they have in mind. Maybe we could look at that here in just a second. We can look at kind of what the weakness of this roster would be. But I think I'm going to move Kuzma to small forward because clearly he will obviously go up in that role. So yeah, that'd be nice, obviously. So let's go take a look what this looks like now. So Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis off the bench, AJ Green, Taurean Prince, Andre Jackson, and then you have like Livingston, Beauchamp, Connaughton, DeLon right down here. So there is some salaries we can throw together to try to make another trade. Again, I don't know exactly who the Bucks might have in mind. To me, I guess you could say the shooting guard spot is, maybe the position we should upgrade, because I don't mind Brook Lopez this year, but obviously furthermore after that we'll definitely need to look at something different. But for now, he's going to be a fine center, but he does regress very, very much in 2K, so we got to find a new center in the future. But for now, Brook Lopez is fine. The bench maybe could be upgraded a tad bit. Like the contracts we have that we can trade right now at this deadline to try to upgrade this team further would be Pat Connaughton's salary. Yeah, Bobby Portis' salary. And that's about it. You have Brook Lopez's, but yeah, those would be the two contracts you would maybe combine. You could obviously throw in some other stuff too, but those are like the bigger contracts you have that they could maybe trade away. So I guess we can, in theory, look for a Pat Connaughton trade, like to see if there's anything we can throw together. Maybe we throw Beauchamp and Pat Connaughton out there and see if we can get a good piece. So yeah, let's do that, since I do think the Bucks might be looking for another move. So let's see if we can make one. So there was a number of different trades I have tried with Pat Connaughton, MarJon Beauchamp in this second round pick we just got, and I'm going to be settling on this. We're going to be acquiring Cody Martin off the Charlotte Hornets to get ourselves another bench player. Seth Curry isn't a bad throw-in either, but that just kind of gives us another player to work with. And then I believe Cody Martin's contract is like simply expiring after this year, so that's an expiring salary we can maybe use in a future trade if needed. So that's the big addition. It's not a crazy addition by any means, but that is what we've done. So we'll see how the rest of this season goes right now with Kyle Kuzma on the team. I'll see you at the end of year one. Definitely excited and curious to see how 2K thinks of this new trade. But we'll see how this team finishes out. So at the end of year one, Shea wins MVP. Sar is your rookie of the year. Peyton Pritchard is your six-man Wemby defensive player. Amon Thompson, most improved. And Jokic is your clutch player. Mark is your coach of the year. And Jacob Park is your executive. So Giannis, of course, makes it All-NBA first team. Love to see that. We'll see what he averaged in just a second. Does Damian Lillard join him? He does on the All-NBA third team. We do have, of course, Giannis all-defensive first team as well, and the all-defensive second team. Here's our all-rookie teams. We didn't really have a rookie playing that much, so we don't really have anything there. But 6th seed in the Eastern Conference going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. 29 from Giannis Antetokounmpo, 26 from Damian Lillard, 15 from Kyle Kuzma, 13 from Bobby Portis, and 10 from Gary Trent Jr. 10 from Brook Lopez, 7.5 from AJ Green, and then 6 from Cody Martin, who we acquired at the trade deadline after the Kuzma trade. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see how this one goes. Definitely curious and excited, like I said, to see how this team does I don't even know what a proficiency is right now. I'm assuming, yeah, it's okay. We need to fix this. Probably should have fixed this a lot earlier. So let's fix this right now, because post-centric combined with grit and grind, it just kind of looks disgusting to me. So we're just going to move this to a balanced system, as simple as that. And I might fix rotation just a tad bit. That Curry now starts, which I'm not sure I agree with that, but whatever. I guess that's fine. I'm going to start, personally, I'm going to start Gary Trent still. But yeah, sure. I mean, Seth Curry starting, I guess, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but he won't, right, in this situation. It does kick out Ajax on rotation, which obviously I want Ajax playing. So maybe we'll take him out for Torian Prince or something like that. So we'll fix this rotation as we go further in the video, but I do want Ajax to get some minutes. So tonight, Curran against Cleveland. This one will be interesting. We are going to be in a 2-2 series, though. So let's simcast Game 5 on the road in Cleveland. If we can win this series, that would be obviously a really good win, because Cleveland's one of those top teams in the NBA right now. And yeah, we lose. So we go down, and maybe we should just listen to 2K's advice as far as rotation is concerned. Passing against the wall, 8-man rotation. Let's go Game 6 and see what happens with this. We're at home. Can we get a victory to force a Game 7, or are we back to the drawing board in the offseason? So now, I will say there is a ton of pressure on Milwaukee to win this year, because I do wonder what Dame and Giannis will be thinking to themselves if this team is to, to be eliminated in the first round or something like that. Like, do they split up? Do they run it back? Like, it's going to be very interesting to kind of see what happens there. But got a Game 7 in Cleveland. We have the lead right now. Can we win it, though, and finish this game? And I think we will. We are moving on to the next round. 36 from Giannis, or sorry, 36 from Dame, 29 from Giannis Antetokounmpo. So now we get to play the Knicks, which is obviously going to be a tough task as well. So New York has Brunson, Mikal, OG. We know what the Knicks have, and they usually make it to the finals in the very first season. So I am kind of expecting a loss here, but here goes nothing. Game 1, they're up 1-0. Game 2, we even it up, so maybe we could get in it. We'll see. Game 4, we're down 3-1, and I assume that'll be all she wrote. Yeah, we lose in 5. So kind of had a feeling, because it's always like Knicks, Celtics in the finals in the first year. Then it's like Minnesota or Dallas on the other side usually. So Knicks, Timberwolves, and the Knicks, the team we lost to, went on to win it all. So I guess we can't feel too bad about ourselves. But again, in real life, I do wonder what that would mean for Milwaukee. In this video, we're going to keep, Giannis and Dame together. Brook Lopez is actually going to call it a career, so that's fine. That should open up some money for us. He was an expiring contract anyway. I don't even know if that's going to open up salary cap. It probably won't, because we're so over the cap. But draft lottery time. I don't think we have a pick here at all, so this is probably not going to matter for us. Our pick is headed elsewhere, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. So Jazz get 1, Hornets 2, Raptors 3, and our pick is headed to Brooklyn. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Doc Rivers as the head coach. I'll leave him here for now, but definitely on thin ice if we don't succeed next year. The draft night we go. And, well, the one trade, contract we have now, well, Bobby Portis, I think he has a player option, so we probably have to re-sign him because he's going to decline that more than likely. We're going to keep Kyle Kuzma because he's obviously kind of the, I guess, not really theme of the video, but the title of the video. So, and again, I don't think we have a draft pick at all. Yeah, so no draft picks for us. Let's just go straight to player options and see what this looks like. The Portis does, in fact, decline. I am going to accept Patrick Baldwin. And the qualifying offers, these are, both unrestricted free agents hitting free agency. And then you got Bobby Portis, Gary Trent. So I do think I want to resign both these guys. So we'll resign Bobby Portis. We'll resign Gary Trent Jr. Bring those guys back because we're going to need depth as much as possible. We got to figure out what we're going to do with the center position, because that's going to be our biggest problem right now is the center position. One guy we got to go for, I think, is Drummond for sure. Drummond will be our first addition at the center spot, but that's not the answer to the starting center. We need a starting center, and I don't know if it's going to be easy to acquire that right now with the money that we have. That's why Milwaukee Bucks rebuilds are always so tough. So, and then we move Ajax to small forward, and Cody Martin was a nice addition, but I told you guys we only got him simply because his contract was expiring after the season, which would make it easier to move. So, Gary Trent, AJ Green, I think is going to have to be fine as a shooting guard spot. Dame, of course, is our point guard going forward. Cody Martin is the tradable contract here, along with, Livingston's salary and potentially Tyler Smith's salary as well. We need to go find ourselves a starting center or we're going to be in trouble. So that is going to be the game plan right now. Let's go see if we can find a starting 5 who's not making much money. Do have a couple guys at the top of my head. So we'll see if we can make it happen with one of them, because we obviously don't have a ton of assets to work with. We'll see what we can do. So I have 3 targets in mind. We have Mitchell Robinson. We have Robert Williams, but Robert Williams to me is not really a guy I want to be our starting center. And then my favorite one by far, since he's not making money yet, is Walker Kessler. So Kessler would be my favorite option because obviously he would develop going forward and would give us a really good center. And he's just kind of a cheat code to get while he's only making $5 million. Of course, we're going to have to pay him a ton of money after this, but he would be my favorite target by far. So Mitch Robinson and Kessler are kind of the two guys I'm thinking about as far as, those are the guys that kind of make the money that we're talking about. So let's start with our favorite target in Kessler and see if we can make this happen. It's not going to be easy, but we are going to attempt to try. So we are going to start with Cody Martin's salary in this trade. And then do we have, we could throw Tyler Smith in here as well. And we might have to trade this first round pick on top of that. So Cody Martin, Tyler Smith, a first round pick. And let's say we throw Livingston in here as well, because this is a lot. I think Kessler's a damn good center. So I don't know if Utah would even accept this. They'd probably want 2 firsts because this is just a swap, obviously. But I don't know. I'm going to see if they accept it, and they do. So we get Walker Kessler to be our brand new 5-man to replace Brook Lopez after he is gone. So we kind of have a full rotation, which is really nice to think about. Drummond, we could eventually move Bobby Portis to backup 5 if we need to, if Drummond regresses too much. But that is our big addition, is Walker Kessler before he gets paid. So welcome to Milwaukee, Walker Kessler. We'll bring back DeLon Wright as well, since he was literally just here. And then maybe we could do the same thing with Prince or Seth Curry for extra depth too. Is Prince still out here? Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know where he's at, if he is. But bring Seth Curry back. I know Ryan Rollins has been pretty good as well. Or am I thinking of the right Ryan Rollins? Yeah, I think Rollins has been pretty good off the bench for Milwaukee too. So, yeah, let's go get him back if possible. He might have signed somewhere else already. Well, he wants a little bit more money, and we don't have the money to sign him. Yeah, so never mind. We can't even get him back. So let's just go to player progression, and we got Giannis and Dame regressing, which I figured would happen, which is why we have limited time in this video. Kessler's up to an 85. Bobby Portis is an 82. Kuzma 81, who actually went down, even though it said he's going up. Ajax up to a 78, so that should be helpful. Train is up. Patrick Baldwin's up, but you have like Seth Curry, DeLon Wright regressing, which I kind of expected. But now we kind of have a interesting rotation going into year 2, where Kuzma and Giannis and Dame are going to have a full offseason together. Just added Kessler to this equation. So hopefully this team can make it happen in year 2. Got to the second round, which is a nice step from the last series we had against Indiana. But obviously we're looking for bigger fish than just this. So we'll see. Power ranking lands us first overall. So they're very high on our team right now. So maybe we are going to go somewhere this year. So Damian Lillard, Gary Trent, Kuzma, Giannis, Kessler, Bobby Portis, Ajax, AJ Green. And then we can run, of course, 9 rotation to get Drummond some minutes. Okay. And proficiency is 4-star. So I will see you guys at the end of year 2, where I'm expecting to be a damn good team because power ranking is very high on us. But we'll see, man. Hopefully we're at least a top 3 seed in the East. We'll see what happens. And as I'm recording this, there has been some more tweets, which I kind of figured would be the case, which is why we try to make a trade the deadline using Connaughton's contract. But, Kuzma waived his trade kicker to help the Bucks add flexibility to the roster. Mark Stein says that the Bucks have been motivated to make another trade. They may not be done either. Another team alumnus, Pat Connaughton, awaits his fate after being shot for weeks. So we'll see if Bobby Portis is also involved in a trade, because that would obviously give them up to like 20-something million to, trade away. The Connaughton with 9 million, and then maybe you combine Beauchamp with them or something like that. Still gives you a decent enough, salary to maybe trade for somebody. But here are your awards. So no Giannis or anything like that sitting here. But of course, he is going to, not All-NBA first team. I was just kind of assuming he would be here, but no, he is on. No, Giannis makes All-NBA third team. Wow, so Damian Lillard made All-NBA second team. That's pretty interesting. So Damian Lillard, who has a player option, which I think he usually declines it, but 31 points per game from Damian Lillard, so that's good to see. And then Giannis averaged 23, so Dame is really on his thing, or really on it right now. So third seed in the Eastern Conference going against Detroit. So you have 31 from Damian Lillard, 23 from Giannis, 16 from Kyle Kuzma, 14 from Gary Trent, 12 from Bobby Portis, AJ Green with 7, Kessler with 7 and 9 and 2.5 blocks, 6 from Drummond, and 4.5 from Ajax. So I did extend AJ Green and Ajax, by the way, 2 guys that I want to be a part of the rotation for the foreseeable future in this video. We may not have a ton of time to get, Giannis and Dame a championship, but this season feels like a legitimate time to do so. We got to the second round last year, so Knicks might be seeing us there again if we are to beat Detroit, and Detroit is a team that gets really good as you keep simulating, so would not surprise me at all if Detroit found a way to beat us in round 1. So let's take them seriously, go game by game here. So game 1, we're up 1-0, beat them by 19, so that's a good start, up 2-0. So obviously the last time the Bucks and the Pistons met up in the playoffs, the Bucks just destroyed them. That was when Blake Griffin was still a Piston, but he was hurt for the series, and Drummond was a Piston, and now he's on our team. So we're in a tied series now after being up 2-0 as I was speaking. We got to win this game 5, and it's a close one, but thankfully we run away with it at the end, because I'm not looking to go home in round 1. That would really put a stamp in this video that I don't know if we'll ever win a championship today in this one. But we might be going to a game 7 unless we climb in this. But no, game 7 is on our hands. I think we do exactly what we did last year. We go 8-minute rotation in the game 7. It worked, I don't remember if last year was a game 7, but I think it was. But we won and got to the second round, so that's what we're doing again. Looks good right now. Can we hang on to it to get to round 2 again? Or are we going to blow a lead? And we let them get close, kind of, but Giannis drops 48 and, you know, shoots 20 or 26 to get us in. And then Damian Lillard had 38 too, so that shouldn't go unnoticed. But we get the Knicks again. So New York Knicks in round 2. Once again, they beat us in 5 last year. We'll go back to our 9-man rotation for the first few games. But if we start to put our backs against the wall, maybe we go back to 8-man rotation. So we'll see how this one goes. Of course, New York is still a damn good team on paper, so this one's not going to be easy. So here goes nothing. We got Dallas, Denver, Minnesota, and San Antonio on the other side, Boston and Atlanta. Game 1 goes to New York. Game 2, down 2-0. So this is not looking good for us. And we could even the series maybe. And we do. Okay, we're back in it. So an even series. Game 5 on the road in Madison Square Garden. We have the lead right now. If we could take this one, that'd be a major advantage to us. And it looks like we're going to. So we blow them out in game 5. 119-83. It really looked like we were going home there. But Kessler with 20 points in that game 5. Now we just need to win game 6 at home. Don't go back to Madison Square Garden. Just win right now. Don't even think about game 7. And we have a close one on our hands. So can we win this game though? No, we're not. We're going to a game 7. So again, I think we do exactly what we did last time. Let's go 8-minute rotation. And let's see if we can't win this game 7 on the road. We just blew them out in Madison Square Garden. Let's try to do that again if possible. A nice little lead for us right now, but the Knicks are back in it. We're going to slow this down and hopefully have a close game at the end. Take the lead back. Knicks take it back. It's been back and forth. The Knicks might start to run away with it, though, and we might be going home in round 2 again unless we go on a run here. And no, the Knicks are starting to add some separation. So back-to-back years of going home to the Knicks in round 2 feels very unfortunate. That sucks, man. It is what it is, though. So this time we pushed them further, but game 7 ultimately does us in. Had a 3-2 lead, and we did not take advantage, and we're going home again in round 2. So Boston, Spurs, and the Spurs went on to win it all. So Wemby and De'Aaron Fox get it done, I think. So yeah, Fox is still there. So nice. All right. Well, player retirements. No Dame or Giannis retiring. I don't think Giannis would retire, but Dame is the one that I guess had me concerned. For the lottery, I don't think we have a pick at all because we've kind of mortgaged our future. We have, yeah, our pick is headed towards the Jazz from the Walker Kessler trade. Doc Rivers, I mean, you could fire him, I guess. I mean, there's Joe Mazzulla we could go after. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's Doc Rivers' fault necessarily, but I am just going to go ahead and make a change there just because that might be the answer. I'm going to see if we can go get Joe Mazzulla, and he will sign. So Joe Mazzulla will be our brand new head coach in Milwaukee. And now we can head to draft night. And that won't really matter for us because we don't have a draft pick. But player options, Damian Lillard does decline. So this next season could be our last try. So Patrick Baldwin, I actually think is going to be a rotational piece next year. Kessler, we clearly need to resign. But we're about to be over the second apron again, if I had to guess. Damian Lillard's going to be a little bit cheaper. But I'm not giving him like, you know, if I'm Milwaukee, I'm not giving him like a big contract at the age of 36 years old. That doesn't make any sense. Baldwin, I will resign to a nice deal, though. And then Kessler, he wants a bag, which sucks, but I mean, we pretty much are at his mercy. We can't lose him. So Kessler, Damian Lillard, Patrick Baldwin, all brought back, and I don't think we have money to do much of anything else. I guess there's a little bit of money left. The Drummond probably will regress, so we could sign like Kevon Looney to be our backup center, so I'll probably do that. And then Luka Doncic is a free agent right now. I'm assuming the Lakers will go after him, but we'll see. Okay, so I mean, we have a full rotation again, but is this as simple as just running it back? I don't know, because you could, depending on how much Patrick Baldwin develops, maybe we trade Bobby Portis for something. But I want to see how much Baldwin progresses before I do that. So Baldwin is up to a 76, while Bobby Portis is up to an 83. Obviously, I knew Drummond and Kevon Looney were going to regress. So, you know, we could maybe trade Bobby Portis away and get a different backup center. But I do like Bobby Portis. Is there anybody else that we could trade away? I mean, we just signed Baldwin, so probably not going to do that. So if we were going to make an upgrade, it would have to be Bobby Portis, honestly, which sucks because I want to keep him around. but he would be the guy to trade away. But we would have to see, which again, I think I just said we're probably over the second apron if I had to guess after signing Kessler to that big deal. So yeah, way over it. So we can only trade Bobby Portis on his own. So we can't combine salaries right now. So Bobby Portis, what can we do for you? Again, we can't aggregate salaries, so we can get Patrick Williams, but I don't think that's going to help us. Derek Jones, Terrence Mann, Clark, Mark Williams. This one would be crazy, but we can't combine. We can't take back more salary than we send out when it comes to that. Wendell Carter, we can get a top 10 protected pick, but I don't think Wendell Carter does it for me. Aaron Gordon's making too much money. Obi Toppin and McConnell. There's some good trades here, I won't lie to you, but maybe we take this to the trade deadline and then we can really evaluate there. But there's some okay trades here. But yeah, I think I'm going to take this to the trade deadline. So we're going to run this back again. And at the trade deadline, we might be looking in the trading Bobby Portis away, potentially. We'll see. It just all kind of depends, but that's where we're at. This last season, or this next season, might end up being the last one because I just don't know how much time we really have. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll go as long as we can. But I definitely am concerned with obviously how old Giannis and Dame are. That, you know, winning a championship, it's going to be tough, man. But we'll see what things are looking like at the trade deadline. So again, the power rankings are high on us. So that's a good sign. The rotation again this time, Looney will be the 6th man, I guess the 10th man. Yeah, we could rock a 10-man rotation, and we have Dennis Smith as well. All right, I'll see you guys at the end of the season, or more than likely at the trade deadline, because there's maybe a trade we can make to make our potential last upgrade on our pursuit to a championship. So right now we are at the trade deadline, and I'm looking at guys making under $20 million. Obviously, we're not going to get like Wemby, Ahmed Thompson, or anything like that, but one guy has caught my attention right now, and that is Zubac from the Clippers. Actually, I have no idea how good they are right now, so we'll have to look at that in just a second, but a lot of these guys are obviously on their rookie contracts, which we're not going to be able to pull them off. But Zubac, I think, is a realistic possibility. So we're going to see if we get Zubac on this team. It's probably going to be really tough to do. We can only give them Bobby Portis in our first-round pick, or maybe 2 first-round picks. But that is kind of what I'm looking to do here. If we can make it happen, I have no idea if they will accept this. But this is kind of our all-in move to, make it happen. So let's see. And wow, that was easier than I thought it would be. But we get Zubac at the trade deadline. My thought process behind that, clearly we get a good backup 5 in Zubac and an 87 overall. We do lose a little bit of scoring with Bobby Portis, obviously, but Patrick Baldwin is up to a 77 overall. I was comfortable with him being the new backup power forward, and backup centers can be really important in the simulation. So that's what we got, and now we can go to a 9 rotation for the rest of the season, and we'll see if that pays off. So that is our big trade, Zubac to, have some complementary with Walker Kessler. So that was the overall that I seen that, under the apron rules that we could make happen, and we made it happen. So I'm assuming the Clippers really bad because they accepted that trade very quickly. So let's see. They were probably selling. No, they're rebuilding. Okay, so they got Bobby Portis in a first and a second, or a couple seconds. So with that, this might be our last attempt at going on to win a championship. So we'll see if that helps us. Right now we're the 3rd seed, so hopefully we can continue to hold on to that. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3 here. So Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey is MVP. AJ Rookie of the Year to Chicago. Kobe White 6th man there. Wemby Defensive Player. Reed Shepard Most Improved. And Jokic Clutch Player. And Chris Finch is your Coach of the Year. Nathan Mack is your Executive. So Luka Doncic, Jokic, Wemby, Shea, Halliburton. And then we do get Damian Lillard and All-NBA 2nd team again. So he continues to strive, which is awesome. And Giannis does make it alongside him this time as well with 23 points per game. Here's your All-NBA 3rd team. And then we do get Kessler and Giannis All-Defensive 1st team, which is why I loved the idea of Kessler when we traded for him while he was extremely cheap, and we made it happen. So 3rd seed in the East, once again. We almost got the 2nd seed, but you had 26. Whoops, why did I do the Y thing? I haven't done that in such a long time. But 26 from Damian Lillard, 23 from Giannis, 15 from Kyle Kuzma, 14 from Trent, 10 from Zubac, and 10 from Kessler. I do think I'm going to make this the last playoff series because, dude, Dame is 36 and Giannis 32. I think it's going to be extremely hard to win going forward, but we'll see, man. I guess it all depends on how this ends. So if we get to the finals, maybe end it on that note, but if we get eliminated round 1, we might have to run it back again one more time. But here goes nothing against Brooklyn. Obviously, I'm hoping we don't lose to Brooklyn in round 1. That'd be pretty detrimental to what we're trying to do. Now, one player I didn't even think about actually, never mind. I was about to say, they probably don't even have the assets. Like, they could probably combine those salaries I thought about, like Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton to get to Cam Johnson's contract, but I'm assuming Milwaukee doesn't have enough draft capital for that. So Fingers crossed we just beat Brooklyn in round 1 and we are down 3-1, dude. Gosh dang it. I had a feeling that this was going to end like this. Oh, man. Why are we down 3-1 to the Brooklyn Nets right now? I'm telling you, man, older rosters, dude, they have their hard time. But we'll see if we can come back in this with the help of Simcast. And I think second round might be our ceiling today, unfortunately. And yeah, we're going home. 114 to 109. So that is pretty brutal, honestly. Yeah, not great. So I think we run it back one more year. I said if we made it to the finals and end it on that note, but since we just got to the first round, we got to go one more time. If it doesn't work out, then GG's. And Chicago already went on to win a championship, by the way. So shout out to the Bulls, I guess. So in this final season we got in our hands, Giannis does win MVP, so that's cool to see at least. But let's just go ahead and get right into these playoffs. So first seed in the East, here were your player stats, not the rookie report, my apologies. Player stats. 20.5 from Damian Lillard, 23 from Giannis, 17 from Kyle Kuzma, 17 from Trent. Really good season on Gary Trent. 9 and 8 from Zubac, 8 and 11 from Kessler. So here goes nothing. We got eliminated in round 1 last year. We get to play a tough Atlanta team in round 1. I mean, gotta hope we don't get bounced round 1 again. So somebody come around against Atlanta and we get out of round 1. Let's go. So I'm glad we ran it back another year. And now we draw Toronto. So Devin Carter, Dylan Harper, RJ Barrett, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. One thing I know about Toronto is they get really good in the simulation. So we're going to give some respect to the Raptors here. But we got a tie series on our hands. They're up 2-1. And they're up 3-1. Are we going to lose in round 2? We are. So round 2 is the ceiling of the Bucks roster, I guess. We tried and it just didn't work out. But let's see. Does Chicago win another one? They do. So shout out to the Bulls, man. They're the story of today's video. They got AJ and they won a championship. But I am definitely curious to see what Milwaukee does in real life. If they make another big trade using Bobby Portis's contract, or do they make a small trade with just Connaughton's? We shall see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you all for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.